Hey, what's happening, everyone? Ed Stojancevich with the Stojo Zone. And this week, I am with two of my very good friends. And the plus side is there might be two of them, but they share the same name. So this is episode 10, and this is going to be just incredible. So what's going on, everyone? Episode 10. We're calling this episode Just Incredible for this very reason. To my immediate right, I'm with this is actually kind of a GC reunion if you think about it. A little bit. To my right is a Mr. Justin Valle. What up, dude?
What up, dude?
How you doing?
Good.
Let's get that what up, dude. So we're in front of a live studio audience. What up, dude?
What up, dude?
Dude, the fucking chicks dig you, bro. Like, it's crazy. Like, I haven't seen so many topless women in my entire life. It's insane.
That's why I started playing. In the first place.
And across from me is a Mr. Juice Willis.
What's up, motherfucker?
He's from the JP Dub.
That's right.
The JP Dub Universe, the Juice Pro Wrestling Podcast.
And Handsome Prick.
Handsome Prick. What's up, man?
Shit, brother, shit. Can we say shit on here?
You can say whatever the hell you want to say.
That's fucking right, I will.
Keep it juicy.
Let's keep it saucy.
So, in case you hear any cussing or anything like that, we are watching the Bears game live, and yeah, I don't think we have to even elaborate anymore on that. I think everybody knows
They stink.
They be stank. So anyway, we're here today. We want to talk lives? What are you guys doing? What are you guys up to? Some GC life. We were in a past life and in a current life musicians.
All right.
Juice is singing with. Give me a little bit of it.
What, you want some vocals right now?
Oh, well, you can do that.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, but you don't have
like
to.
that. You ain't got to pay me, man. You ain't pay. We get professional. Yeah.
I'm older now. You got to pay me. You got to pay me for that shit.
Right.
So, what band?
Handsome Prick. Been doing that for, it's going on 10 years now. We actually got a pretty big show coming up in Gary with XPW Wrestling and Elbow Deep. It's going to be streaming next day at streamxpw.com. It's going to be no ring death match. We got Necro Butcher coming in, Masada, Dirty Ron, for those of you that are aware, Mickey Knuckles, some old school death match legends.
Yeah, death match. For sure.
But we are bringing the death metal too, the grindcore aspect. So it's going to be no ring death match and like 2 bands per night on October 20th and 21st in Miller.
Who you hitting with the microphone?
Dude, I mean, anybody that's in my fucking way. Microphone, light tubes, thumbtacks, back out!
So
there's going to be jamming and wrestling?
Oh, yeah.
Dope.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
When's the date on this?
So October 20th, we have a couple local bands, Manifestations, homies, really cool people, and Hemperor, who's coming back. They're kind of like a doomy, sludgy, noisy type band. And same thing, it's going to be 2 bands in no ring death match, and then Saturday we're going to close it out with our brothers in Elbow Deep, who they're fucking Jerry and them guys are crazy. Their whole stage setup, they're like grindy shit, but dude, they beat each other with light tubes and cut each other open and like staple guns and shit, and it's going to be wild, dude.
So how many people do you think are going to be at something like this?
Well, it's a small venue. So we can it's like 100 people max.
Okay.
And I know it's, tickets are getting down to the wire. So
100 people in addition to the acts, like the
bands?
Okay.
Yeah, in addition to, the people performing and doing stuff. So we're hoping we can pack it. If not, it's the first time around for something like this in the area, Northwest Indiana. Everybody's like probably been to like Black Label Pro or, your typical indie wrestling show, and this ain't your typical indie wrestling show.
Yeah, Black Label Pros in Northwest Indiana, and you got Warrior, which is more Illinois, right?
Yeah.
Do they ever come to Indiana? Warrior?
Warrior, they just did a show in South Bend at the Bendix Arena, which is an awesome place to see a show.
Is that like an organization that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Independent wrestling.
Okay.
Yeah, they what was the guy's name you had on the podcast?
Steve Tortorello. He's the guy that owns it. He was actually the principal at Marian Catholic High School. He started,
awesome.
yeah. Dude, it was cool. I got like,
Is he still a principal?
he's still a principal. He's not at that school anymore. He's up. I think because he's more on the north side of Chicago, and he just had a baby and stuff too. So like the travel and everything, he wanted to keep it a little closer to home, but
For sure.
still running Warrior out of different spots. I mean, they run up in Michigan. Like I said, they've been out to South Bend. Of course, Chicago at Talia Hall was one of the last places I know they were at.
Talia's a cool spot.
Yeah, super cool. So I've been there for shows. Like I haven't been there yet for wrestling, but
Yeah.
I can only imagine. But dude, it's like you see guys. I've been able to see people there and hang out with people at like a Catholic high school where dude Brian Pillman Jr., who's now cutting promos and going to be Lexus King in NXT or something. You know, like I'm out having libations with him outside. You know, getting a little rip torn, if you know what I mean. But like getting the opportunity to hang out with these guys, to be backstage with them and watch them go over matches and shit, and like just see like ring psychology and stuff. It's as a fan and guy has a show where we talk about this shit. Like it's kind of surreal, you know?
Yeah, dude, that's awesome to get a chance to experience stuff like that. So hopefully that this one, the date on it is again one more time.
10/20 and 10/21, 2 days.
So it's a 2-day thing.
It's a 2-day thing. $30 to get in. I think it's
both days or 60 for. Can you
No,
do like a 2-day event ticket?
You know what? I'm not sure how that works. I think it's you motherfuckers just gonna have to call for 30 a night. You know,
exactly.
But there is a VIP thing, so you can get in early. You can get to meet all the wrestlers and shit for $60. I mean, and for all you fickle motherfuckers out there, they're like, "Oh, it's too much money." You know, people are gonna be getting hurt. So somebody's going to the hospital. We need to charge a little bit more. You know,
60 for VIP, and for 120, you can bring your own weapon for them to use.
Yeah, no doubt,
I've seen
no doubt.
that.
Yeah. Bring some gusset plates. Bring whatever you want, man. We're going to fuck some shit up.
You've seen some of the deathmatch wrestling?
I've never seen it live, but I had some friends that went. And
dude.
one, you actually brought weapons.
Oh, yeah.
They got to pick from the weapons that the crowd brought.
Some of those people bring. They're sick.
I've never been to
dude.
one. I'm not a huge wrestling fan, but some of the videos I've seen, this shit's crazy, dude.
Check it out on the 20th.
It'll be cool, man.
Oh,
Be in
Vegas.
yeah.
That's right.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
So Vegas. So tell me a little bit about Vegas. You tend to dabble a little bit in the poker game a little bit.
Yeah.
How'd you get into it?
Just finding a game at the casino that I could study and actually try to beat. Doesn't mean I beat it all the time, but like, you know, just feel like I have a little bit better of a chance of beating it.
Are you blackjack at all or just strictly poker?
Mostly just poker. I mean, I'll punt off some money in blackjack every once in a while, but most of it's just like Texas Hold'em.
More props to you,
Live
brother, because,
poker.
dude, waking up every day is enough of a gamble for me. That's all. That's all the gambling I do, man.
Yeah, I'm not. I used to do a little bit, like a little bit of blackjack, but people get pissed because there's no strategy,
yeah.
zero strategy, and so like I'll do something, I'll win, and then instead of doing something where we could all win, I'll just make sure that I win, and people are pissed.
You know what? If you're gonna be pissed, then you should be playing in a high roller room. You shouldn't be playing on the floor.
Yeah,
You know, because I mean, the people that play on the floor, like most people don't know what they're doing.
No,
when it comes to blackjack, at least.
Yeah, you hit up the Hard Rock at all or no?
Yeah. They don't have a live poker room, so every time I go there, it's blackjack or just punting money off somehow.
Yeah. Where at locally do they have live poker?
Horseshoe is the biggest poker room around.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Now, when you play poker, how exactly you're betting against other people. So how do you pay out? How do the dealers get paid out? Right?
Yeah. So the way that works is some rooms charge by the hour. Like it might be like $2 an hour, or there's what's called a rake. So a percentage of every pot up to a certain amount goes to the house.
Okay.
You know.
Said pot.
And so, can you also tip? Do you tip the dealer?
Yeah, you can. You can tip dealers too.
Okay.
Yeah, right. But I mean, it's a win-win for the casino on live Texas Hold'em because you're paying either way.
Yeah,
like somebody's paying, right? Like if you win a pot, let's say, I don't know, maybe like $1, or depending on what the rake is at that room, $1, $2 might just automatically just be pulled out of that pot, going to go back to the casino.
That's cool. And you said the Horseshoe's got the biggest one.
Yeah, biggest poker room by far.
Now, Blue Chip, do they have that?
They have a small poker room.
Do they?
It, like really small. But I mean, it's fun.
Yeah. Yep. So so now you're a poker guy, but in general, out of all the casinos that are here in Northwest Indiana, do you have a preference? If you just take the poker out of it, like as far as nice casino environment.
I think the Hard Rock's pretty sweet, you know, just all the shit hanging around. But like I said, the problem is I go there to play poker. So if I go there just to like hang out with some friends and stuff, like I'm always like, oh, let's just go to the Hard Rock. It's so much easier. It's nicer. It's funner.
Yeah, I just saw Campbell Corpse there on the 3rd, and before that, Merciful Fate. And
Static X is coming there too.
And Seven Dust.
Static X and Seven Dust
on the 19th, right?
You're not going.
No, I think I might go because I'm leaving on the 20th.
Okay, if you go, I'm for sure going.
All right, well, I'm gonna need a ride to the airport afterwards.
He's like, I forgot, I got something to do.
He button hooked me.
You fucking bullshitting me now, man. Come on.
But yeah, put me in the mosh pit, pass me around.
Crank it up, fuckers.
Dude, yeah. So the word on the street with Seven Dust is
didn't they just drop a new album?
They just dropped a new album. This might be the last.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, dude, they've been a band for
30 years.
Yeah, a long fucking time. I mean, maybe it's time to explore other avenues, you know?
Well, they've all kind of done that. You've what is it? Clint's doing his own thing. He's my favorite.
What about Lejean?
Lejean. I can't remember if he's doing his own thing, but then your boy Morgan.
Oh God, what did you say?
Yeah, dude, he's been in a few different projects and everything like that, but they're pretty solid. Have you seen Static X since they've gotten a new singer?
I did. I seen them
Zero
when they came to Chicago
recently.
I've watched a lot of the videos on YouTube, and I'm not a big fan of that stuff. I mean, I liked like a couple songs back in the day because you keep Disco Evil, right? And their bass player would do like, ooh, the death metal shit. But they sound good, man.
They had a whole like show based around like the old singer. I don't know if you've seen it. Like it's like he's like comes back as like a machine.
Yeah.
And the new guy that's singing, he's got this big like crazy like helmet with the hair and everything.
And there's like wires.
Yeah.
Like, his name's Zero. He's all like robotic. It's kind of cool because you get that like aesthetic or feeling of it is Wayne Static like brought back to life.
That's like how they try to make it feel, you know, like this is Wayne.
And it's the singer from Dope, I think.
Dope, yeah, it is, for sure.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. And that's why now, like
Makes
when he first started doing it,
Dope,
people saw like the same tattoos. So now if you look at him though, like they've covered it all up. His neck, you can't see any part of his actual body, you know? But it's him. And I mean, he sounds good doing this shit. You know, another sweat of the bud. You know what I'm talking about?
6 months ago, it was in Chicago, and they played with Dope. So,
House of Blues, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So that makes perfect sense.
Go.
Yeah, I wanted to go to that show, and I didn't. I don't know why I didn't.
Where's that button hat?
Yeah, I know. You know, but I wanted to go to that show big time, and I just missed out on it. But I have seen them live, and it's crazy to see just how much that it resembled. Like Static X was never. You're not going there. They're not a musician's band. You're not going there to see them rip. You're not going there to see them shred or anything like that. A lot of their stuff, especially like when I first started playing guitar, I mean 3, 4, 5 chords tops.
Yeah.
and you know a Static X song,
groove,
and then you thought you were the baddest shit on planet.
Yeah.
You know, like I know this song, or I learned this System of a Down song, or a lot of those 3 chord stuff, and it was awesome. But it is crazy to see just how well they pull it off. And just how well, even the vocals sound very Wayne Static-ish.
Yeah,
and they just released, what was it, that last album they did? I think it was like his last batch of works, like vocally, like Wayne Static. And they were doing something, and like you said, I've watched so many videos, I don't know why, because I'm not a huge fan of them. It's just, maybe it's nostalgia, because they're 20-something years old now, and it's making me feel old. It's like, damn, that, the whole music is time travel thing. It takes you back to a point in your life. So I'm watching all these videos, but they were like incorporating, like you said, like Wayne into the show, and it's weird, dude. It's surreal, but it works. You know, I think it's something like that, and with what they're doing with, that Zero dude, the singer, it's better than a fucking hologram.
Yeah. Gore kind of did the same thing.
Yeah,
they kind of took on the same feel almost.
Was it the singer who passed away from Gore?
Yeah.
It was.
Rungus.
Yeah.
Now, have you guys seen Gore live?
Oh yeah, a bunch of times.
Awesome.
I've actually had on my show on the JP Dub. Actually, no, it was Juice Pro Wrestling. We had God, what's his name? I'm really bad because I'm not a huge Guar person. I mean, I even told him that, but he was one of the guys that started the band with Odorous, Techno Destructo.
Was it Odorous Arungus? Or something like that?
That's the one that died.
Yeah. The crazy thing about Guar is that a band that I pop in and listen to and throw it up on Spotify or whatever? No, not at all. But if they're in town, you're going to go see them because it's, I mean, dude, that is theatrics like you wouldn't believe, man. It's a lot of the shit's gross, but it's so like it's funny. So if you haven't seen Guar, YouTube some of the Guar performances, and it's just like, oh my gosh, it's a little crazy. I think I saw them for the first time years ago at the World Music or the Tweeter Center, whatever it is. It was Sounds of the Underground and
Lamb of God played that.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Were you there?
Yeah, oh yeah.
That was an amazing show. That was an all day.
Yeah.
The thing about that show is they had the different stages. You literally did not have any time for a break because you were just bouncing from stage to stage because it was such a good show.
Yeah, it was, dude.
Lamb
of God live is awesome.
They're one of my favorite bands live. They're intense. You don't like them though, do you?
Not a big fan.
Yeah. What don't you like? What are you into? What
I'm
is
a musical snob, dude. I mean, but I'm not one of those guys where it's like just because it's something I don't like, I don't think people shouldn't listen to it. Yeah. There's something for everybody. I'm not a complete dick, but
you still listen to Britney Spears in the shower.
Rick Astley, I do. Oh yeah, no doubt about that. Britney Spears, not so much. I'm more of a New Kids fan.
New Kids on the block.
Yeah.
Are you hanging tough in the shower?
Sometimes. a little short, inverted on those cold days.
Starting to get really cold up here.
Right.
But that Sounds of the Underground show was awesome. I actually went earlier this year to Sick New World out in Las Vegas.
In Vegas. Didn't you see Geisha out there?
We tried. Yeah. So there was 80,000 plus people there.
And that was like what? Like mainly like a new metal has like this revival coming up, and I'm not sure if I like it or hate it.
I dig it.
I don't know. It's just weird, man. Like Korn's one of those bands that like early on, I liked them, but dude, when they fell off so fucking hard. And to me, we're making like the most garbage albums. Like it's one of those bands where it's like just break up, guys, and do your own thing.
They started making songs with Skrillex, and then that's kind of where I was like,
it's like, come on, dude. Like realistically, after Follow the Leader, and there was. I mean, I liked Issues.
Issues was good.
Issues was cool. But then, Untouchables, all that other shit, it was like, oh, man.
I remember a very, very good friend of mine let me borrow a CD. It was Issues. And for some reason, he never got it back.
Oh, wait a minute. I was still looking for that motherfucker.
Dude, I listened the shit out of that album. It was good from start to finish. Yeah. It was a pretty good album.
But it was dark. It was a little trippy for them, like.
That was their last, like... Holy shit! Like that was their peak.
For sure.
What Issues?
Issues, yeah.
I would say so. Because then everything, dude. How embarrassing is it that you put out an album that's so poorly received that you have to literally like John Davis got pissed and was like, "All right, we're re-recording, we're doing a new album within the same year and putting it out."
What album was that?
So it was Untouchables, and everybody was like, "Man, this fucking garbage."
Was that the album with Here to Stay on it?
Yeah.
I'm here to stay. Hey, if you think about it, when that album came out, I feel like everything, Korn took a different direction where every single song had that boom, 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 boom. Like, I mean, okay, but then when every song kind of has that same
vibe.
Yeah, and it got like, I don't know if poppy is the right word to use on that album. But like I said, for them, it was like a really poorly received album, and they were getting a lot of like hate. And they went, John Davis got pissed. I read some article in Revolvers, whatever was around back then, saying how pissed he got. And like, dude, even Chino from the Deftones was ripping on him. Like, come on, guys, what the fuck are you doing? And they literally, that's when they did that Take a Look in the Mirror, which is an album that's meant to sound like, Life is Peachy in the first album.
Yeah.
But even still, you could tell it's like, all right, now you're trying to do that. Like those first two albums from them were so like authentic and raw feeling that when, years later you're trying to go back and recapture it. Like for me personally, I can't get on board with that shit because it just feels fake.
It was like with some of the other stuff, Follow the Leader and, even the beginning, the first albums and stuff like that. That one came across as it was definitely forced and it didn't come natural. The other stuff is like, oh man, you could totally feel like, oh, these guys were just riffing in a basement and came up with that, you know, and just put something together, you know.
I don't think they were a band with their sound and style. They realistically, they weren't a band that was meant for longevity. You know, like how could you evolve that and have it still feel the way that it did when you first found those guys? Because, dude, they were around since 94. I think a lot of people, that's lost on a lot of people because they were in the thick. They dropped that first album in the thick of like alternative and grunge. And it sounded nothing like that shit, like nothing like anything, you know?
Yep. They, I think that's kind of the whole, that whole nu metal thing, why it probably feels weird for you is I felt like nu metal was a phase. None of those bands were meant for longevity.
Right,
I mean, you know, Limp
and there were
Bizkit.
so many of them, dude, so many.
I mean, Limp Bizkit,
Ultra Spank,
yeah. you had a bunch of them. You had, I mean, there was a bunch of bands where it was like Edema. Remember Edema and like Cold and like Crazy Town and Trust Company. You like you had a lot of those bands where it was just like, okay, this is all the same regurgitated stuff, probably with just, you know, each one a little bit less talented singer, a less talented guitar player or whatever, you know. So what were some of the bands you were into? Like, as far as that, were you ever into that nu metal phase, or?
I mean, a little bit, just because it was around, but I just like guitar-driven bands. So if I could bounce my head to it, like if I could hum the riffs, like I'm about it, right? And I didn't find that like a whole lot with Korn, you know?
Yeah. What were some of the bands that you got into? Because you obviously you're a guitar player. You played in Out for Blood. What were some of those bands that you got into, and were any of those bands that those influenced you when you played in Out for Blood?
Dude, Metallica. I mean, like Out for Blood was all drop D. Like that was it. Like we didn't get into the crazy tunings and just chuggy.
You were just drop D tuning.
Just
that was
drop
it?
D tuning. Yeah.
Not like C.
Nope. Nope.
Just
everything was drop D.
Wow, I didn't know that.
The whole thing.
You guys are pretty fucking heavy for just drop D.
Yeah, we kind of like prided ourselves on like, hey, we're just drop D. But a lot of that had to do with we just didn't want to like down tune. We're like, yeah, we're drop D.
Yeah.
We did. So when we played, we were in C, and then the lowest we did was B. Yeah. And we only had a couple songs in B, and it was those songs that we did in B were more comfortable with Dave, our singer. But then the funny thing is we used to write songs and tell him it was in B, but it was actually in C.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, "Oh man, that sounds really good." And then once we would like tell him, I'd be like, "Oh, well, yeah, I just think it'd feel a little bit better." I'm like, "Dude, you're killing it." And so, you know, so
yeah, we always tried to hold on to that, like how much is like a little bit of 80s like hair vibe, you know?
Oh, totally. Like, but dude, you guys brought it though, man.
Our lead guitar player, Pete, he was awesome, but he didn't really want to play in C and stuff like that. So we just kind of like just did our thing and just played in drop D, and it kind of helped us stand out a little bit, you know?
Yeah. So two guitars that I always thought. So Montez in Decrypt didn't he have a dime?
Yeah, he had the.
So he had the dime, which was it was perfect. Like for you guys, it was perfect. Then with Pete, I always look at other people's gear. Like I'm a gearhead, so I was like, "Oh, this is awesome." Pete had literally one of the coolest guitars I've ever seen in my entire life. It was an ESP Viper in black and white camouflage.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah, we got. Okay. I'm trying to think who we got that.
Well, you know why he's playing that ESP, don't you?
Why?
You just
Metallica.
Yeah, my bed.
I mean, we wanted guitars that. Yeah, we wanted guitars that stood out and stuff.
FY, the Bears just threw a pick and we just all shook.
They're distracting us with their bittersweet fucking mediocrity. We're mired in mediocrity.
Yeah, they're terrible. I used to see that, and I'm just like, if that dude ever gets rid of that guitar, I have to be the one to buy it.
He sold it. Oh yeah, dude. Like
there's no way he sold that guitar.
I don't know where it's at or who has it. We bought that guitar used from somebody, like a pretty like popular Indiana band. I forgot whose.
I cannot believe he sold that guitar.
It gone. You best believe it.
I'm trying to think of who originally had that guitar. I don't know if it was like, remember his Carriot?
Oh yeah, that's Carriot. We played with them in Decrypt back in the day.
I think maybe one of their guitar players, it was like one of their guitars. I could be wrong, or somebody that they knew that was somebody that played with us all the time. He didn't have a lot of money, so we kind of just all pitched in and got this like guitar for him. Before that, he was playing a Fender Strat, which was mine, American-made Strat, and he was
he really
shredding on it. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Single coil or humbucker?
Single or humbucker.
It was a humbucker. Okay.
Yeah.
At least it was a humbucker.
I mean, it wasn't ideal, but we just used what we had, right?
Yeah. So, Juice, you got a Strat. Yours is a
dude. It's a fucking nightmare. It's a Frankenstein thing. It's like
but
a
it's
75
great,
body, and then like some kind of right-handed Japanese neck. And it's like the maple fretboard and stuff. It's cool. It's like this dude made it, and he brought it in the GC. Like,
I thought it was a left-handed. Is it
it's a left-handed body
with a right-handed neck?
Right-handed neck.
That's right.
So it's got like a Hendrix vibe or whatever. You know,
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I fucking play left-handed. It
Yeah.
sucks. There's not too much out there for me. But yeah, I remember the dude bringing it in. I was like, it had been weathered a little bit, beaten the fuck up. But dude, it was like
Those are the best.
yeah, it was a mid-70s Strat. So I was all like about it. I think I got it for like $100. I got a low ball, but you know how it is. Yeah. Well,
Guitar Center offers them 75, and you're like, I'll give you 100.
yeah, yeah, right.
Well, that's how the SG that I picked up. Yeah, like after it was all said and done, I think we put like $200 in the guitar, $225, so with tax.
Well, dude, I still got that Omen 6, that left-handed Schecter. Yeah. I think I bought it off of you, and the guy had bought it, and then it was like past like the 30 days or whatever it was. So, you know, instead of just return it, he had to like try to sell it to us. So you're like, dude, I just fucking got this for nothing. And they're like, those Omen 6s were like I think they were like
$400 for sure. Yep,
I got that for like 100.
Did you put pickups in it too?
No, it's still got the same pickups, and it's in a C sharp.
Yeah,
with like the fattest fucking strings
ever, dude. You got bass strings on there, dude. Yeah. So dude, back in the day, so you're a Schecter dude. You got the Triple X, which was a Schecter.
Yep.
I had the Triple X Schecter. That was a guitar that I let get away. Then I'm just like why'd I do it? Like I
like the thin neck. You know?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
That's what I don't like about Fenders. Like Strats is like feels like a baseball bat, right? Like
some of those Fender Strats can have a baseball. Same thing with the
Gibsons, dude, like Les Pauls and stuff.
They're heavy too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's how I like. I just got a left-handed white SG. It's a Epiphone, but still pretty badass.
How's the neck?
It's great, dude.
Is it really?
It's fucking great. Nice and slim and thin, and it's just weird. You know, I've always wanted one of those, but I've never really had time to sit and play with it. And now that I do, it's like, fuck, dude. Like,
you remember the Epiphone Junior?
Yeah.
We should get those and just change the pickups, beat the shit out of them for a year, and then, like tour on it, and then just buy another one.
Yeah,
they were so cheap.
Yeah.
They were dirt cheap, dude. You know, some of those cheap guitars like that, man. You know, you throw an EMG in it. It's like, man, now instead of a $100 guitar, now you get $1,000.
Most expensive thing on the guitar is the fucking pickup.
Yeah, you just pull the pickups, throw the guitar away, and buy a new one.
Yeah. Your Triple X has EMGs, right?
Yep. Yeah.
It was the same thing. I used to do the 8185, but then instead of the 81 in the net or in the bridge, I put the 85.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Yeah, it just gave you the 85 had a little bit more bass to it, so it was grungy, man. So. Dude, we used to play a lot of shows back in the day, dude. Back in the Angelo's days, and that dude, that was crazy back then, dude. We, you had Angelo's, you had Sopranos,
Italianos,
yeah. A lot of VFW halls and stuff like that.
A ton of VFWs, Yep, VFWs,
Legion, Highland Legion. You remember that?
The Highland right there,
or the Eagles Club, dude.
Yeah, Eagles Club in Lake Station. Do you remember the one big show that got put on? I can't remember who put it on, but it was at the Hammond Armory. It was massive.
There was a bunch of those back in the day, man. Like at the Hammond Armory.
There was a dude there, and you might know him. I can't remember the guy's name, but he had a bunch of tattoos. He had the big gauged out ears. But then at some of those shows, what they would do is they'd put hooks in them, and he'd like dangle and stuff like that. He was
like do an actual show.
Like he didn't gig. He was just, I don't know if he worked for like a tattoo company or a piercing place or whatever. But like they'd put like meat hooks in this dude, and he just kind of like just hung out. I'm just like, what is the point of this? But
dude, my buddy Kevin, DJ Scudda, shout out to DJ Scudda, he would do that. Suspension is what they call it.
Yeah, suspension.
Oh, dude, I think I know who you're talking
weird.
about. I don't want to say,
dude.
I don't want to say his name, but I know exactly.
I can't remember his
about.
name. So he was a bald dude, and he had the kind of a longer
goatee.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah. I know exactly who that is.
He was always cool, but I'm just like, there is zero chance.
No fucking way. No fucking way.
Yeah.
Zero.
Some people fucking get boners doing that shit. It's like me personally, I fucking
Dude, the
pass out. I don't even like needles or anything. Like that's fucking.
The Hammond Armory. There was a show there when I was like probably 17.
Yeah.
I was in high school, had a job, and I was gonna go to the show. And my dad's like, "No, you can't. You got to go to your job." And so I called off my job, lied to my dad, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm going to work." Well, I called into my job and told my grandma died.
Oh man,
Hold on.
fucked up.
They call and leave on my answer machine, and they're like, "Hey, we just want to make sure Justin's okay because we know about his grandma passing and all this other stuff."
Oh.
And my dad hears it. My dad goes to the show, drags me out of the show, and I'm like 17 in front of everybody.
Oh man.
Yeah, makes me go into my job and apologize and ask for my job to keep my job.
Where'd you work?
Dude, it was this like little bar
Yeah.
in Cal City.
Dude.
Lesson learned.
Oh
Yeah.
my, dude!
Lesson learned.
Pops don't fuck around, dude.
When I graduated high school, and no, he doesn't fuck around. When I graduated high school, I was just kind of like laying around on the couch and with my girlfriend at the time. And eventually he was like, "You're gonna work or go to college?" And I'm like, "Yeah, whatever." Right. One morning he wakes me up, he takes me to the homeless shelter, and he makes me work at the homeless shelter until I either get a job or just keep working there. So he made me volunteer there until I got an actual job.
Quick parenting 101. I think more of you motherfucking parents out there need to do shit like that.
Oh,
and maybe we wouldn't have all these pussies trying to.
Yeah, I mean, I thank him for
I don't
it.
want to work, but I want to be paid $20 an hour. And,
I mean, my dad wakes up at 5:30 in the morning, right? And I'm just like laying around, been partying all night. So eventually he was like, "All right, well, you're gonna work for free or you're gonna work for money. You make the choice."
Right.
So
Dude.
every morning he would drop me and my girlfriend at the time off there, and we would go and eat and serve food to the homeless.
Yeah. Well, that's cool though, man.
Yeah.
That is awesome. And the thing is, you're hanging out partying. You went to bed at 4:30, and he's waking you up at 5:30.
Yeah. Oh, it's the worst, dude. He would get so pissed if I didn't have like coffee on because he's like, "If you're gonna stay up all night and fucking party, at least put a pot of coffee on for when I wake up."
Yeah.
Dude, that reminds me of when I used to stay a mutual friend of ours, Chris Davis.
Yeah.
I used to live with him. His
Dude,
dad would come.
You always got put to work.
Dude, always. It'd be summer vacation, right? And I'd be fucking up till God knows when. Same thing, probably 2, 3 in the morning, like playing N64, drinking Ice House or some bullshit beer.
Playing No Mercy.
Yeah, right? Diggity dog. Socko. And I go to sleep, and as soon as I wake up, the motherfucker Tim would be down there and like, "Get up, you're going to work." I'm like, "What? What are you talking about?" Or we go out to Black Oak and chop wood like all damn day long, or go out in the backyard digging a fucking big ass ditch for pipe or some shit. And I'm like, if Whitaker or somebody stayed the night, I'm like, "Get up, either you're working or go the fuck home."
Well, dude, that was the funniest thing in the world. Is I remember that one time, like you're like, I was like, "Hey, do you hear anybody?" He's like, "No, man, I'm digging some fucking hole to nowhere." Like,
Yeah,
just for no reason.
It was, dude. It seemed like a lot of Chris would get pissed too. It's like we just had to do it. But looking back on that shit, it's like it made me not afraid to like work hard anywhere at any job that I've had. Like, if it's something that's like, I have to face the adversity. Like, I'm ready to go into it guns blazing, as opposed to, like I said, and nowadays, like, be thankful your dad did shit like that, because I feel like a lot of parents don't. A lot of these kids coming up don't know the value of hard work and the reward of it.
Yep, they don't want to work, man. They don't want to work, and so I'm just gonna stay at home and chill, and not do
my
anything.
dad. I mean, we've always had a great relationship, and we still have a great relationship. We laugh about that kind of shit now because, I mean, he was teaching me a lesson for sure,
and you had no idea at the time.
And I had
You
no
were
idea at the
pissed.
time. I was like, "Motherfucker, why do I got to do this?" But
I'm sure it was no different than when he was little too. And
Yeah.
that's a completely different era, but it's the same fucking thing,
Yeah.
Like your parents teaching you life lessons. Get out there and motivate yourself, because hey, nothing's gonna come to you.
Nothing will come to you now.
you don't know what a good
Might
job
come in you,
is.
but not to you.
Stupid.
Let's stretch him.
But no, you're 100% right, man. And there is one good thing I think the three of us have in common, and it was give me 1 second. The old alarm to feed the kid,
Yeah.
But we have one good thing in common, and that was we are former alum of the GC of the Guitar Center days.
622. What the fuck you want to do? Hey, what's some, baby?
So when did you get hired in there?
Dude, that's a good question.
At 03-ish, maybe?
No, I graduated in 03, so it couldn't have been 03. I mean, it had to be like 04.
Because I think 03 is when they opened, right?
05?
Oh yeah. They opened in 03. I want to say they opened in like March of 03.
Because I used to ditch high school and go to Guitar Center, but that one wasn't there. I had to go all the way out to the one in Cicero.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
that was.
Remember that one was such a pain in the ass to get to.
Yeah.
Because they had that small parking lot.
Oh yeah.
It was right past that little stoplight. It sucked.
There's like a Sam Goody over there.
Yeah. Which was way better, but
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Sam Ash.
Sam Ash. Yes.
What is Sam Goody? Is that
it was a CD place.
Was it? Okay.
I don't think any CD stores exist.
Yeah. Speaking of which, Best Buy is not going to do CDs.
I was
DVDs.
literally just going to ask you that.
No, they're done. They made an announcement.
Do they have like a little, at least Walmart and shit'll have like a little, and I think it's cool to see, hipsters or not, some people actually utilize them, are vinyls.
Oh, really? At Walmart?
Yeah.
I didn't know
like
that.
where the CD section, and then it's like a super small, it's so weird, dude. That's why I say, you're getting old when it's like CDs are like this big, and you know what? And that's fine, right? I buy.
Back in my day.
Well, dude, I like owning my own music and shit. And even I buy music. Dude, like say a band puts out an album, I'll buy it digital, I'll buy the vinyl, I'll buy the CD, support them any way I can. And even in buying the digital, which kind of sucks because if something ever goes out, you don't own that anymore, and you just they got your money. I like having, with video games, I'm very adamant about getting physical copies of things because I don't want to live that life they're trying to make you live where everything's in the cloud.
Yeah.
To me, you don't necessarily own it then, like.
I feel like it's just it's borrowed.
It's borrowed. It's like renting, you know? So,
anyway. It's borrowed. But yeah, they're not doing CDs or DVDs anymore. But yeah, that's what Sam Goody was. But Sam Ash, my Triple X, my amp is I got that through Sam Ash. That was the first
you betrayed guitars.
It was like the first quote unquote like big boy purchase I made. Like I remember getting that, and I got the entire stack or the half stack. I want to say it was like $1,400, give or take. And back in the day, that was
a lot of money.
I mean, it's a lot of money now, but still holy crap. But I had a crate. I think it was like a GFX 200. It was
They're always trying to push those crates, man.
They were so bad. It was so bad. I think the only good thing that Crate ever put out was the blue voodoo and the red voodoo.
I had the blue voodoo.
Yeah.
That was when that Sammy Hagar's shit?
Yeah. That was the only...
Mas Tequila!
That was the only good thing that they put out. So we used to work at GC. You had to... So they opened up. I worked at Best Buy, and I saw... The first two people I ever met was Dave Perry.
Oh, yeah.
And John Searing.
Yeah.
And they were at Best Buy just checking out on something. And I'm like, they had their name badges on. I'm like, Guitar Center? I was like, where's the Guitar Center at? Like, oh, they're putting one right over here. I'm like, are you guys hiring? They're like, yeah. I'm like, oh my God. I filled it out. I can't remember. What was the name of our first boss?
Adrian?
It wasn't Adrian. It was
before.
Oh, Jay. Jay.
Oh yeah, Jay. I was like one of his last hires before he got transferred. That dude was super cool.
He was the coolest dude.
Yeah.
So I got hired in, and dude, you got hired in maybe a month.
A month after, yeah.
And then
because I remember being pissed. Like, dude, people gotta understand that. Like when that when that came around here, dude, that was a big fucking deal. Like
huge.
There were so many, and think you still had the Star Plaza that was around. So you had all these big acts, coming through. All we had realistically around here were either pawn shops or Rubino's.
Yeah.
And, you go to Rubino's, get ripped the fuck off all the time. But that was like a huge deal, for everybody involved in like the music scene in Northwest Indiana. They're like, holy shit, Guitar Center's coming here. And especially like I was just graduated high school, and I'm like, dude, dream job.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I want to be, I knew for years like what I wanted to do, and it wasn't. I tried college, and I was like, I did a semester. I was like, fuck that. I want to go, I'll suffer on the road, whatever I got to do. I just want to play music. And then to be able to like work there, and you felt like the sense of pride, which it was washed away by the time my tenure ended there, dude. It was completely fucking gone, because just the abuse and lies,
so Guitar Center, it was still a corporate place, but some of the best people I ever met.
Yeah,
came.
It was
from
all
place.
musicians working there. It was like even the guys running the GMs and stuff were like musicians, so they were cool.
Oh, dude, Chad.
John was in like a famous like punk band, right?
Which John was it?
He was one of the manager, or
Was
maybe he was a manager.
I'm trying to think. You had
The short guy. Was his name John?
Cozio?
Yeah.
He was in. I think John was in something. I can't remember. But you had Mark, who was in Ops, and I want to say he was in something. Fuqua was in that band Bang for the longest time, you know. And they played everywhere.
Chad?
Yeah, Chad. Chad's hands down probably one of the best musicians I've ever met. I'll rank Chad right up there with Davis and with Nuzo. Like, they're just unbelievable. Like, they can grab any instrument and they're better than you immediately. Like, you know, they cannot play guitar, grab a guitar, and you're just like, I'm putting mine down. You know,
I quit.
Yeah, I'm done, you know. But everybody was there. You had Curtis. You had remember Darren? Darren was in Electric X. They used to play Taste of Chicago in front of 20,000 people. Like,
big wrestling fan too.
Oh yeah, Darren D'Lo Brown. But
he used to always remember. He'd always bust me out because I used to teabag the high end guitar.
All right. So here's the story. So it's towards the end of the night. Justin's working on this sale, right? And this guy's in there. He's a PRS, right?
Yeah, I think so.
He was looking at a PRS and everything like that. Justin used to do
I work there now, so
he used to do the dumbest thing. So he would teabag different instruments and everything like that.
All right, pull it down, like pull my dick out and act like it was a pick. Like, hey, check this out. Like,
the dumbest thing ever. I don't know what he do it. Dude. And then Schaefer, like, you know, didn't Schaefer have a couple you'd snap a photo?
He's got them.
Yeah.
I mean, he's passed,
him,
you know, but they're somewhere. And God, I hope his mom's never seen him.
Yeah, but he would do that. So Justin's working on this sale. He's got the guitar nice and polished, strings. I mean, dude, you name it. This dude's like, yeah, I'll take it. Darren comes up, and I'm going to paraphrase, but he's like, man, this is a really nice guitar. He's like, this is one of the nicest ones in here. He's like, you know what? And even has Justin's stamp of approval on it. Dude, Justin's like typing it all in. And as soon as he says that, Justin stops and looks at him like that. He's like, yeah, his nuts were all over that guitar. Justin got so pissed. He stormed to the back. I was like, what's wrong? It's like, Darren's fucking up my deals. Dude, it's so stupid. Now, I will say though, like, that job was fun, and I feel like people did take it, as fun as it was, people did take it seriously at first, because it's like, you know, like, man, I want to make a career out of this or whatever. You know, I want to make some money off this.
You wanted to be Todd, which I think was the guy at the time. He liked the like area rep or something.
Todd would walk in like a Tyrannosaurus Rex,
douchebag.
Man. He walked in, he had these little short arms, and his ass like started like by his neck. So if you ever went out to lunch for Todd, you just reach over his shoulder and grab his wallet, you know. So, but we
used to go get sushi all the time down the street. You remember that
at House of Kobe?
No, there was like a all-you-can-eat Chinese food place over there, and they had like a little sushi bar in the middle.
So I didn't get into sushi.
That was the first time I had sushi, actually.
Working at Guitar Center?
Yeah.
It was Greg Pizakny is the one.
Greg.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Greg said, hey, dude.
He's out in Italy
now, dude. Yeah. Shout out to Greg Pie, man. He was a great dude. Greg's a great dude. So he hit me up. He's like, hey, dude, we're going to go out to lunch today. He's like, I'm buying, but you got to try
he was all about sushi, dude. It was like a fancy food, you know. So.
Dude, we went to House of Kobe, and I had eel. And I'm like, dude, I don't know if I want eel. He's like, well, this will kind of ease you into it and everything like that. I'm like, ease me into it with eel? I'd rather have the fish, you know? It's like, so I had unagi. I think it was like unagi maki or something like that. And I tried it. And I'm like, this is going to suck. Dude, sushi is one of my favorite foods to this day.
Oh, absolutely, dude.
Yeah, to this day, it's one of my favorite foods.
It's responsible for a few pounds that I have.
There's a new spot opening in Hobart, too. You see that? It's like Tokyo 8 or whatever.
Yeah.
Isn't it right in front of Strax or something like that?
It's, right where that Foho.
Dude, that
Foho.
Didn't that bombed quick.
It bombed. Well, I think it was around for like 3 years or something like that at least. But there was nobody ever there.
Ever.
Yeah. I went there once and I was like,
It's a hibachi grill too. It's gonna be like the full deal.
Really?
Yeah.
See how it does.
So, so sushi was good there, but you know, that's how I got introduced to sushi, was through Guitar Center, through Greg. And but dude, the people that goes back to like the people that you meet there, like they were some of the best people ever. And the only thing that I hated about Guitar Center, well, it wasn't so much
pay.
Yeah, the pay. Yeah,
God,
the
dude,
pay,
working 14 hours, you know,
for nothing.
the fucking lies, like, oh yeah, you're gonna be an assistant manager soon. Like, shut the.
Yeah, dude.
I still don't understand the commission structure.
Yeah, dude,
Like, I just don't get it.
It
I'm
had
just
to
like,
have been,
I'll
it had to
just
have been
work
illegal.
and hopefully I get money.
Yeah. Well, and we were such a small store. Like when I was there, it was still the team based. So if a motherfucker didn't pull his weight, you know, and didn't sell shit, but the other three of you in your department did, they still got a commission.
I
which was
forgot
fucked
about
up.
the
Remember
team
that?
base, dude.
And I left in like, I think April or September, July of 2004, I think it was. I was only there for like maybe a year, a little under. But anyway,
no, you were there longer than that.
no, it wasn't really that long.
I thought you were there.
I thought it was too, but I'm like, fuck, it wasn't. But I know shit changed after I left to where you guys each had individual fades and all that you could meet. But that team-based shit
So you
sucked,
had to,
dude.
when I was there, you had to meet what you made hourly.
Yep.
Before you could start making. So what guys would do is you'd work for like 5 hours, you'd clock out and work off the clock for like 3 or 4 hours.
I think that's why Schaefer got shit canned time clock manipulation.
so that you can make commission.
Well, do you guys remember like on the crazy holidays, so like 4th of July,
Yeah.
Black Wednesday,
Friday.
Black Friday. I was gonna say Black Wednesday. That's a bar day. Black Friday, and like just like and basically any weekend during Christmas, they would have you work. They would bring in like lunch. They'd order like pizza, and they would say, you can just eat and then head back out to the floor, but you have to clock out for an hour. And there'd be times where you'd forget to clock back in, and like it never got fixed, and you're like, you know.
Oh yeah.
I think how I had it set up was when I was assistant manager there or sales manager, whatever quote unquote job title they gave you. I took a higher hourly rate because it was taxed different than commission. Well, from at least what I was told back in the day. So like my commission checks were never really great, but I think I was like $10, $11 an hour, you know? So
Yeah, but you've always been like sales related. Like I was a fucktard. I was just like, I just hope I make money.
Yeah.
I just would sell things and give people discounts and shit.
dude, that was the coolest thing, was being able to hook people up.
Dude.
Like that was the greatest thing about it, is like what was it? We all had access as salespeople to take it down to like, was it 10%, 15% profit?
Well, part of the reason I got shit canned was, I could zero out the most expensive thing in that store. 321, 321.
you had the master key, dude. You know? But it was you can take it down to like 10 or 15% profit.
We used to walk around, dude, remember, with like pockets full of cash and like little deal booklets.
The craziest
like little
thing.
piece of paper. Like,
That was
nuts.
archaic, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like it was archaic. Do you remember the cash?
Yeah.
The cash slips, and like you'd have to do the drops and all this other stuff.
Do you
like
think
that.
they still use the same like point of sale, that like fucking matrix screen?
Oh, they do.
Do they?
Yeah, I actually picked up the wall hangers that I picked up from there. They had to ring it out, and it's the same
shit.
DOS, whatever. Yeah.
They're so much more expensive there too. I was just there and bought strings and like a string winder or something, and a strap, I think, and it was like almost $100.
It's
I was like, what the
ridiculous.
fuck, dude?
Yeah, that's ridiculous, you know. But when you worked there, though, like it was.
Dude.
I feel like you always wanted to have a good time. You always we had a good time working there because our friends worked there, and if we didn't know somebody, like we all. I mean, well, dude,
everybody got along for the most part, dude. You didn't get too long to know the pro audio guys because they were getting shit canned left and right, because end up being Adrian was scamming them and like putting everything on them. But
Adrian was taking shit and then blaming the Mexican pro audio guys. It was terrible.
Yeah,
and nobody knew that. You're just like,
No.
man, like this dude hires some shitheads, and then you realize you're like, wow, like it was him the whole time, and he was like
building a $50,000 studio or whatever the hell.
Framing all these Hispanic dudes. You're like, what the hell, dude? Like, is he a closet racist or what, man? Holy shit, man. But it was cool, the people you met there. But it was also a revolving door. I mean,
Oh yeah, dude, and we had a lot of our friends from like school and shit work there, dude. Like Craig was fucking a door guy there. Remember
my
that?
God.
Tiff even worked there. My oldest boy's mother, you know.
So you had Tiff, you had Craig,
Mike Fay.
you had Mike Fay, you had
Denise
Schaefer.
worked there. Denise fucking
dude. I was so Denise worked there because. Okay, Denise would come and she'd visit me at the office or at the office. At the guitar office at Guitar Center. And do you remember Andrea
Baginski?
Yeah. She
BTV.
worked there. Yeah.
For those who know, you know.
We worked there, and Andrea, we were sitting there talking or something like that, and I think it was someone came along and I'm like, yeah, I couldn't work with like my girlfriend or wife, fiance, anything like that. Andrea hired her on the fucking spot. And I'm just like, what a fucking, like, what a complete asshole. You know? So she hired her. I think Denise was working, she's working at a supermarket, and then she was working at Guitar Center. And she was there maybe a month because she, obviously with the kids and everything like that, like we couldn't work the same schedule. You know what I'm saying? And she didn't think that through. So she hired Denise I feel just to piss me off, and it kind of backfired on her, you know. But you had that's right. You had
forgot about the door guys.
Yeah,
the door guys.
What was that one dude?
I started off as a door guy.
You did. That's right.
Fuck, what was
Because I interviewed though for guitars or whatever, I think, and that Jay was gonna hire me. 'Cause I was trying to think where the fuck I was at the time. I might have been at like a grocery store or like a thrifty doing like car porter shit.
Did you work at Strax?
Yeah, I did.
That's what I thought. I think
I
came
was
from
there at
Strax
the time,
to Guitar Center.
because they were gonna demote me to. I left it like a drop. They thought I stole a drop.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, and dude, I was just so busy. I put it in the bag, but I left it at the register.
Yeah,
and they
yeah.
ended up finding it, but they're like, well, if you want to continue to work here, you got to be a bag boy. And I was like, okay. And then I just never fucking showed up. I think there's probably still a check from 15, 20 years ago sitting somewhere. And then luckily, like GC got a hold of me. He was like, well, we don't have a guitar or anything, but we need a door guy. And I was like, I just wanted to get in, you know?
Yeah. The who was the door guy you were talking about?
He used to wear like girl pants and shit. What's that dude?
Joe Bickham.
Joe Bickham, chicks dig him.
Dude, Joe Bickham, chicks dig him.
I mean, I was with the girl pants and shit back then too. So like, you know, I had like the tight jeans and shit. So I'm not talking shit. But
Dude,
he's still around, right?
I think so. Joe Bickham was awesome, dude.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
he was an
super cool,
awesome dude.
He was super cool.
Yeah, he was a good dude. I liked him a lot, man. Those are some of those cats that I still wish that I still talk to. I still talk to a nice amount of them, but man, there was a few. I think Bickham was there. Like there was a nice group of them that were all there like less than a year, 18 months, you know, because I worked there twice. I worked there.
Yeah, you did.
And then I left because I did that Battle for Ozfest thing, and Adrian like wasn't having it that I was going to
Oh
be
yeah,
gone.
they weren't going to give you the time off. I think I remember that.
Yeah, and then I ended up coming back because Adrian needed somebody else.
He needed another Mexican to fucking pin it.
I see what you did there. So I ended up coming back, and I mean, it was awesome. And then were you there? So you left, because I was the first time I was there a little bit longer than you, right? Or no, were you there and I left? I can't remember.
I think I was there and you left and then came back when I was still there, maybe. It's fuzzy. It's weird. And the whole way I got shit canned was fucking stupid. So check this out. I'll make it short and sweet. Like I said, the 3-2-1, 3-2-1. That was Adrian's code. That motherfucker just straight showed it to me one day. He would flaunt that off to people like, and somebody like, Eddie, check this out. You see a fucking $5,000 guitar up there? Delete. Now it costs nothing. Yeah. You know? So I had to go in. This is like right when I joined up with Decrypt. So I was going to practice and I needed some fucking mic cables. And I went in there and I think I bought two like fucking, I don't know, 15, 20 foot mic cables. And I'm like asking people, like, hey, can you ring me up? I got to go. Well,
instead of $75, they're like 10.
Yeah,
You know?
whatever the
Like,
cost
yeah,
was, right?
yeah.
Like, so I did, and no one would fucking, I think it was Dave Perry or somebody. And like, he's like, yeah, I got you. And I'm waiting around for like 15 fucking minutes. I'm like, you know what? Fuck this. I go behind the fucking thing and I do, I brought it down to cost, what it should have been, but you needed the manager's approval for it.
Yep.
So I did the 3-2-1, 3-2-1. I didn't take any more or less than what it should have been at my employee
You bought it at your
cost.
employee cost.
Right.
Yeah.
But because I did that, you know, they who was, remember that big black dude was like the head of Lost Provision?
I'm Bruce.
Yeah, Bruce. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
They called me in one day. It's like, we got a problem. I'm like, okay. It's like there was like $800 worth of like instrument cables and shit that had come up missing. And they're like, well, we came across this ticket. And of course, Adrian's like, I never approved that. I never, was done with his shit. And I'm like, well, no. I told him the story. I fucking rang it out. And it was like, I know I shouldn't have done that, but I was like, dude, come on. I was like, I didn't steal $800 worth of. What am I going to do with that shit? Instrument fucking cable shit to hook up, some motherfucker hook a studio up. I had one guitar at the time. I didn't need that shit. And yeah, they're like, well, we're going to give you the day off or 2 days off. And I was like, you're firing me, aren't you? And he's like, no, we're not going to fire you. And sure enough, they give me 2 days off. And I go back in and it's like, well, you can't work here.
That was called the 2-day suspension of death, dude. If you got that, you're gone.
And
dude.
I was so fucking pissed off because I'm like, dude, I put everything into that store. I mean, dude, and there were moments with like my friend with Schaefer, who's no longer with us, when I was department manager for accessories. And I'm just like getting on his ass, like being a dick kind of to him. But I was like trying to do the best.
You wanted everything, dude. You had your stuff looking
because
meticulous.
They were blowing fluff up my ass, like telling me, hey, you're next in line to get assistant manager. But then that's when they hired in Greg. Yeah. And Greg got it. And I'm like, well, something ain't right about that. And even when Todd was up there, it's like, you're doing great. We're looking at you. You're going to have your own store. And I'm like, okay. Or working those 14-hour fucking days there.
A lot of that had to do with our age, dude.
Yeah.
A lot of that had to do
with our age. We got
taken
taken advantage of, for sure. But, young and ignorant. And I'm like, Guitar Center, I have the coolest job out of anybody. I go out at lunch and get fucking in the alley, get high or something, like have a few drinks at the bar, like.
There's a bunch of lawsuits. You ever see all those lawsuits? Against it for like pay for back in the day, dude, like when we worked there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they fuck people so hard. So I took it personal, I'm like, you're going to fire me over this? Like, I'm like one of the hardest working motherfuckers you have. And sure enough, they did. And I think I tried to go back when you were already back, and they're like, well,
they wouldn't bring you in.
Yeah, you were blackballed from there. But it's funny though, because after all that shit and they fired me for that, then to find out that Adrian gets escorted out.
Stealing everything.
It was him, dude.
Dude, he was escorted out like it was.
Did he go to jail?
I don't know.
We've been trying to find him. I know I've been looking for years.
I can't find him online.
I can't find that guy.
Probably just a studio musician with all his equipment and shit.
Yeah, dude.
On a fucking island.
Hey, remember, he was just always so like quirky.
Yeah.
Hey,
dude, you cannot tell me that dude wasn't doing cocaine.
He's doing tons of it. Sure. Him and fucking Andrea were probably, I guarantee they were banging. And then didn't he killed somebody's dog? Remember that?
What?
In Lake Station.
Oh,
he hit that dog. Yeah, remember
that's right. Yeah. I forgot he moved to Lake Station, dude. And it was weird because Adrian was like a pretty boy and everything like that. You're like, dude, you're moving to Lake Station? Like, it was so weird. It was the weirdest thing ever. Like, it was so weird. But yeah, he moved to Lake Station. Like I remember he like ran over somebody's dog and everything like that. But he was always like, he always had like, hey, what's going on? Oh, he had like the...
He had like a little, like a tweaker would.
Yeah, like a secret tweaker.
Straight up tweaker in a dress shirt.
Dude, tweaker in a dress shirt. Dude, I remember when we went out to it was a Christmas party.
Oh yeah, in Portage somewhere, right? At those bar.
That was when we had Cozio. Remember we did the Fook off.
Wasn't there like a fucking fight or something?
I can't remember if there was a fight, but I remember going to so we had the Christmas party we had the Christmas party.
Yeah, we did. We got the awards. Man, they gave me an award. I still have it to this day, where it's like entrepreneur award or something, because they knew the story how I got kicked out of Hobart in 8th grade for selling my Ritalin. So they gave me a fucking award for it.
Here you go, entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So FYI, like while that I think it was Lucky Strike Bowling Alleys when we had the district Christmas party. But when we had our store Christmas party, I think it was at Clancy's or something like that.
Yeah, it was.
In Portage. That was so much fun.
Yeah.
Because it was like we created the awards, like, I think Cozio was the one, and then we had the Fook off where it got recorded and everybody had the, hey buddy, how the our Joe Fook off.
Is there still video of that?
Fook has it, yeah.
Does he?
Yep, he said he has it. I told him I've got a converter now where I can do VHS or DVD to digital. Dude, I want to get that so I can put it on there. But we did those awards and everything like that. But check this out. So Juice took this so seriously one time, and he was like right in the middle of like redoing the entire department, and like Schaefer was like just like, oh, like, you know what I'm saying, like he had to do all this stuff and everything like that. Well, I kept on going over there, and, and I was fucking with Justin, and he was getting pissed, and he was getting so pissed off. He's like, you need to fucking leave me alone. I'm doing my department, blah blah blah. And I'm like, all right. And so, do you remember back in the bass department they had that little desk where with the phone that you can ring people up? It was like a tiny little
right.
So I pick it up and I call the store. Dave answers. Guitar Center, Hobart, Dave speaking. I was like, Dave. I was like, it's Ed. Put Justin on the phone. And I can see him, and I'm like, I'm by the bass department, and so I can see him and everything like that.
Oh, I remember this.
Justin's right in the middle of something, like a big project. He has to like come down the ladder, walk around, this and that. Guitar Center's adjusted, and I went like this. Like I was crying, because I'm not making fun of him. Yeah. And he would slam the phone like this, and he walks, and it was a strong, stiff walk, dude. He's like, I'm gonna fucking write you up right now. He was so pissed off, and dude, I look, and you just see Schaefer's like shoulders bouncing up and down because he's dying laughing, man. And it was so funny, but we always did this. So speaking of door guys, we were at the door. This dude walks in. This dude has long blonde hair, the tightest jeans I've ever seen, and they're straight. And so, or his hair is real straight. So he's walking in, and I can't remember if it was you or if it was Dave at first, but I think Perry's at the front door.
Oh, yeah.
Perry's at the front door.
I'm checking him out.
And he didn't look. He just looked behind. And Dave's like, man, look at the butt on that.
Yeah, that was Dave.
And dude, I started cracking up. And was it you that did it second? Or was it?
I think it was Dave.
Yeah. And then Dave looks like, man, look at the ass on that. Dude lost it. I'm like, it's a dude. It's a dude. Dude,
nowadays that shit don't matter.
Yeah, I know, but 20 years ago,
right.
But it was literally one of the funnest times I ever had. Like, and if you think about it, though, it was perfect because even a late night, what was the store open till 8 or 9?
Yeah,
Saturdays we closed at 6, 7.
Yeah, playing gigs was easy to like work around a schedule.
Yeah, dude. Playing. Yeah, that was the cool thing about it is the fact that you can go gig Friday and Saturday. You gig Friday night, you got to be there, 9:30?
Yeah.
Drag ass in.
Yeah.
Everyone gigged the night before, so it was cool because everyone was like dealing with the same shit. Everyone played shows the night before.
Yeah, for sure. If you had to be there at 9:30 and you walked in at like 9:40, like everybody's just, okay.
Yeah. How'd your show go?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The ops people, I think, were the only ones that had to be there like an hour before everybody else, But it was easy for them because they didn't have to deal with anybody. Mm-hmm. Like all they had to do was just, Mike used to work in the accessories, and he got pissed. He's like, I can't fucking handle people. I'm working in the back,
Yeah.
So he went and worked in the back, and that was it, man. He's like,
who was that one guy that worked in the back? He was like a big time stoner, super nice dude, man. Taller guy.
Mark.
It was Mark. Yeah.
It was Mark. Mark Schwartz.
Was it Mark Schwartz?
I think it was Mark Schwartz.
So your Schwartz is as big as mine.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. The dude who used to be in the punk band.
Yeah.
Oh, so Mark worked underneath him, and then when he went to a different store.
Oh yeah, was he a bald guy? Yeah, he used to work or be in the punk band.
Nope. That was
who was that guy?
That was Jamie.
Jamie from drums.
Yeah, and then Jamie used to work. Jamie was a phenomenal bass player. Like
he was in the punk band, right?
I think so.
Was it Jamie? It was either Jamie or
it was like a big punk band, like for like the punk scene. Sure. It was like up there with like the Operation Ivy type of, that whole like scene of bands.
Yep, and I can't remember, but that was a crazy thing. Is like there was people. So when I became a manager, the cool thing that I always thought was awesome was I looked up tickets from other stores. And you saw like System of a Down bought stuff. Metallica bought stuff. Like I'd jump into Hollywood System and be like, oh, who bought this or who bought that? And I thought,
could you see their phone numbers and shit?
I
don't remember.
I think you might have, but they
probably
for some bigger accounts. Yeah, like that. I don't think they probably wouldn't have their phone.
Hindsight 2020. I wish I would have like looked at it.
Yeah,
I think
all their numbers are different now.
Yeah.
They have to be.
Yeah, dude, it's been so long. Like I said, like we're about to go into 2024. That's 20 years since I last stepped foot in there, to work. Like so much has changed. They don't even have door guys anymore, really, right?
No, there's
and now
no
they got those pods in there that took up like the whole where accessories used to be, where you can go in and get lessons or whatever the fuck it is.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I haven't been in there in a while. The door. You said Tiffany was one of the door people when I worked there, and what's his name?
Bickham.
Yeah.
Bickham. My buddy Chris worked there. Chris Mitchell. Remember him? He was real quiet, and then So Chris worked there, and it was so funny. Like for the first couple months, we didn't know anything about this dude because like he just wouldn't talk, like nothing. And then all of a sudden, it's like we started talking, and then like he was in the Seven Dust, and he was in Alter Bridge, some of those bands, and then we started chatting, and I was just like, oh, now he's like this dude talks. Like whoa, it just took a while, But I miss some of that stuff. But so Lucky Strike. At Lucky Strike, so we had the district Christmas party out there, and we took a big party bus, and we went to Lucky Strike. And do you remember you weren't 21 yet either? I don't think you and I weren't 21.
No.
Remember because they marked if we weren't 21, they marked our hands black or they put like a stamp on them. But then we wiped it off. Yeah, I'm like, are you kidding? Like this is
backwards.
Yeah, it's the dumbest thing ever. So they ended up doing that. We wiped it off. We ended up drinking. We ended up hanging out. Dave Perry got hammered, and he went outside and he pissed on the side of the building, and and because the sidewalk was angled a little bit, it started like the piss started like angling towards the street and everything like that. And then Andrea and Adria came out. And they don't have their shoes on, everything like that. They're all blah blah blah, and they're like stepping all in Dave's piss. Like, dude, I'm just like, you've got to be kidding me, man. But those were good times. But it was cool because that place allowed us to gig. It allowed us to do a lot of stuff that, I mean, realistically, your regular job wouldn't. I
wouldn't have been able to afford the equipment that I had.
Oh yeah,
that I was gigging with. There's no way that made me be able to gig in the first place.
Yeah, yep. I want to say
my whole band's equipment, by the way, too, not just mine. Like
my bass
player, my drummer,
dude.
Everybody, like nobody could afford shit. So,
dude, here's the thing: if you were cool with me back in the day, you basically got shit at cost.
So that's why I had that crate, Blue Voodoo, because it was like the cheapest tube head that I could buy.
Well, think about it, bro. I think that Blue Voodoo was probably like $800 or $900, and like at cost, it was like $400.
Yeah. So it was like.
For $400, are you kidding me, dude? Like,
dude, I sold Jimbo, our old bass player in Decrypt, that 810 cab, the Ampeg.
Yep.
What do you get that for, dude? Like $800 or something? Like, it was ridiculous. I don't know, maybe 6, because I know I got him that, and then Brad, an American SG.
Yeah.
That was, both of them were dirt cheap,
Yeah, for sure.
My first half stack I got from there was Solid State, and it was that B52.
Oh, the
B52. It looked like a Fender, but it wasn't a Fender.
Yeah.
Or it looked like a Marshall.
Marshall.
But it wasn't a Marshall. It was just like a knockoff.
Yeah. The B52s, I remember that, dude. So you had those.
I still have it.
Do you really?
It fucking works, dude.
Dude, I can't remember I sold my crate stuff years ago, man. And I remember when I bought that stuff brand new. I brought it from the Cicero store. I bought that, and I bought a Schecter like C1 Elite, and that was right when I joined Terminal Fix, and because I needed something. I didn't have anything to gig, and I picked it all up, and I'm like, man, all this shit cost me it was like $1,500, like for everything, and a full stack. Like, why did I get a full stack? Yeah. It was stupid, and so I played it, and then it was so funny when I got hired in. I looked back when I got my manager code thing and I could hop into other systems. I was like, I wonder what they made. Dude, they made like 60% profit. I'm like,
shit.
It's like, dude, like all that shit would have been like $500, dude.
For 3 years.
Yeah.
I'm like, my goodness, man. Like, but it was, I did that, but I like the Triple X, dude. That was like a $600-$700 guitar, and was it $300?
Yeah,
like $250, $300 is what we picked it up for. And I remember the stuff that was ultra cheap was like the Jacksons, the Ibanez, the Schecters,
the Jackson K.
Yeah,
I think it was fucking awesome.
Yeah, dude. Yep. And that that was all stuff that you can get like pretty cheap, and it was awesome because it's like, man, like I could have this, and this is good gear, and it doesn't cost me a ton, you know. But the problem is like, you know, I didn't load up on all the gear that I wanted to when I worked there. I had to load up on if there was something used that came in or something like that because we didn't make shit for money.
No.
You know.
Did you play on a full stack when you played out?
In Terminal Fix, yeah.
Yeah. See, we used to play on full stacks, but I would put one of my cabs on the opposite side of the stage and one on my side.
Yeah.
And my other guitar player would do the same thing because we always played at places that had shitty sound equipment. So like if you were on one side of like our band, like you couldn't hear any of the harmonies.
Yeah.
If you're on the lead side, all you heard was the lead guitar.
Yeah.
So
I was too dumb to think of something like that. So
yeah, we just
I just didn't
one.
Honesty. Seriously. I played with the full stack, and I remember playing at a place in I want to say it was Joliet. And it was I had my full stack up, and I was probably 6 inches away from the stage lights. And when I took my stack down, dude, there was like a hole basically burnt into the Tolex because the stage lights were so hot and they were so close. And I'm like, I stoop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like this is so dumb, dude. You know, but that was. I wish I would have picked up more stuff than I did when I worked there, because the plus side is you got the best deals around, but you didn't make the money for it.
Yeah.
No. I mean, I think everybody could say the same thing that worked there, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
you only had so much money too at the time.
Yeah.
Picked up what I could.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Oh yeah.
So, dude, what are you up to? I mean, dude, we're talking about Guitar Center. Dude, what are you up to, Justin?
Fuck, man. Just video. Doing video now.
You're my video dude.
Video guy.
You ever need video stuff done, you got to go to justinvalle.com.
That's
right?
me. Yep, that's it.
And that's VALLE. No Y.
No Y.
No Y. Okay, take out the Y. But yeah, he does all the video stuff. What are some of the stuff what are some of the projects you've been working? You've been working on some pretty big projects. Can you disclose or no?
Some of them I can, but mostly I've been working under a couple different videographers, and we're doing some stuff for Paramount, so that's pretty sweet. And video podcasts, stuff like that, like a lot of famous people.
Yeah.
Shit. I can't really say too much, but
can you talk about the one you just talked to?
yeah, that was a summit. So it was like a men's summit,
Oh, okay.
and they just had a bunch of influential figures like Dwayne Wade.
Yeah.
D Rose was there. D Rose.
Oh, D Rose was there too? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Glass Rose.
I'll be honest, there's some people that I'm like, everyone's like going crazy over, and I'm just like, I have no idea who the fuck this is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Who what? Do you remember any of the names?
Jason Ellis. He was in
Does that sound familiar?
he was in Top Gun.
Which one?
Yeah.
The first one?
No, like the new one. So I was asking him like, how's Tom Cruise and all the
Oh,
Scientology
yeah,
shit, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, there were so many people there. Some of them are like fashion designers that are like
You got to send me the link to that summit.
Yeah,
I'd be curious
yeah.
to see. And if you ever get something like that again, like, let me know.
Yeah, dude, come out.
Yeah, dude. I'll be your quote unquote helper, bro.
Yeah.
You know, I'll hold the light.
Assistant producer. Yeah.
For sure. But
Be
that's
the AP of it.
That's pretty cool. So you got a chance to hang out with D Wade?
Oh yeah. No, it was awesome, dude. He was a cool, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, we and him were sitting in a room for probably 10, 15 minutes just shooting the shit together.
Yeah. You said down to earth, right? Like,
Yeah, super down to earth. He was a super nice guy, down to earth. It's funny because I was talking to him about LeBron most of the time when I was talking to him.
Yeah.
Like, because I'm more familiar with that, right? And I'm not a huge basketball guy, but I
Yeah.
like basketball. So I'm just like, yeah, you play basketball? Oh, cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you
So-
listen to metal?
Yeah, exactly. What about SLA Dying?
Yeah.
You know. So, now, do you ever get like when you guys were chatting? Like, did you guys talk about like the GOAT discussion and stuff?
No,
like that?
I didn't try to get too like deep with him about like shit. You know, it was just really, really surface level stuff. Like, what's up, dude? You know? I mean, everybody there was like just harassing him all day long.
Autograph this.
Yeah,
sign
autograph,
this,
take
how
a
are you?
picture, take a photo.
Yeah.
He actually asked me because I was standing there. I was taking a picture of like the monitor on my camera, filming him,
Yeah.
like just getting it set up, you know. And he was like, "Do you want to take a picture?" Because like he thought I was just taking a picture of it, but I was like, "Yeah, sure, let's take a picture."
Yeah.
Yeah. So there were some dudes in the room. These twins. They're on a show called It's like a Chicago based show. The Shy, it's called.
I've heard of it.
I've heard of it, but I never watched it. But they were in there.
Yeah.
They were actually like running the podcast because of the writer's strike.
Yeah.
So like they weren't working, so they were like doing podcast stuff. So they just brought all their gear out.
So that strike, that Hollywood strike, is not just that. I mean, that's like
it's everyone.
Everybody.
Yeah. So like there were people there that were in like shows like that, like The Chi, right? And then before they would start the interviews, I don't know if I should be saying this or not, but they would say like, "Hey, I don't want to talk about the new season because I want to support the writer's strike." So they're actually filming, but they don't want to like talk about it because
during the strike, technically you can't.
You can't
promote.
Right?
Yeah,
you can't promote. I don't even think they're supposed to be filming, right? But there's kind of just backlogging it. I mean, obviously it's not going to come out until after the strikes and stuff, but.
Well, that's the thing is like, you might have those A and B level celebrities that are like, I don't have to work another day in my life, but like the people that are behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Dude, if they're making,
like the film crew and shit, right? Like, I mean, some of those dudes make good money, but they don't make like millionaire money.
Yeah.
No.
If you're making $150K a year, right? And you base your life on that or 200, whatever those guys are making, that's really good money.
But you got to think though, too, some of these people, that 150, 200K a year is out here in Indiana and even say Illinois, that 150, 200K a year is not the same as 150, 200K a year in California.
No, California, you're fucking.
Oh yeah, you're broke.
You're broke. Yeah.
You're broke.
Yeah.
And they're supporting their entire family, like family, kids, and like that's just what they do for a living, and they're supporting their whole family, and they're living a good life, regular life. But once that money stops coming in,
Oh, once the money stops coming in, and then what about
take long.
Insurance, benefits? What if all that stuff? I mean, I don't know, but what if all
I'm
that
not sure
stops?
the details of the strike. But like how Ford's on strike right now, it's a little bit easier because, not easier, but it's easier to keep track of what people are doing.
Yep.
Right? Because you work at a plant. Like if you're a videographer and you're literally working all over the world, like how do you know like who's filming, who's not? It's kind of almost just like an agreement that like you're not gonna release anything until this gets settled.
So you could probably there's probably a bunch of them that have a bunch of videos like stacked up, ready to go, a bunch of content stacked up, ready to go that just hasn't been
for sure. Like TV shows and stuff like that. Like once this whole strike's over, I guarantee you're just going to see immediately like just a bunch of content come out, new movies, all kinds of shit.
Well, the cool thing too is that like this strike, it really doesn't impact you because every week you're busier and busier.
That might be the reason.
Yeah,
that might have something to do with it, like with some like the Paramount stuff.
Yeah.
Not saying I'm like a scab worker or anything, but
no,
I'm
not
just
at all.
like a lower end. Videographer, so they can just call in a videographer like, hey, we want to film this like men's summit.
Yeah, it's crazy too because he says a lower end videographer, but when you look at his stuff, you're like, what?
I mean, I don't mean lower end as in quality. I mean lower end as in like
low on the food chain.
On the food chain, right? Like I'm not working with like big time producers or big studios. I'm just rolling. Yeah, I'm just I'm solo. I'm just doing my own thing.
So you've been doing some projects even here locally as well.
Yeah.
So I mean, obviously with me, so you're doing some video projects with me, but dude, I'm low man on the totem pole when it comes to some of the stuff you're doing. You've got the city project and
there's a project for Hammond for the Hammond Water District. I mean like. There's a karate studio that I'm doing that's coming up that I'm pretty stoked on.
That's gonna be I'm looking forward to it.
It's gonna be fun because like commercial work is always like really fun for me. So like, I just have this idea of like setting up all these cool scenes, like doing some like slow-mo shots and just pretty much like a sizzle reel for a karate, like a dojo.
Well, that's a cool thing too. Is like, dude, even when you and I chat, like that's where I'm like, dude, whatever you think, because. I'm not as far as like the videographer stuff and all that, like I want to hear what you have to say, because even though I dabble in that stuff and I think it's awesome, I'm not on your level, not even close. And
it's like music though, right? There's no right or wrong. It's just like, what do you like? Yeah. Like there's obviously like a baseline, right? Like, hey, these notes go with these notes. It's same thing. Like there's like, hey, this is how lighting should be done.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that you have to do it like this. It also doesn't mean you have to film like this. Yeah, it's the same concept.
Totally. And like the different angles and like just the different effects and everything like that. And dude, Justin, with the podcast, how you do the video podcast, you just jump behind a green screen or Zoom or like, how does that work with you?
I mean, they're all for the video. Yeah. It's filmed through Zoom is how we do the interview.
Yeah.
And then, it comes out that week on YouTube and I have a green screen behind me
and you have it set up so like the cool thing like with yours is like you got the video podcast, but it's almost like set up like like I'm trying to think what like Brady Bunch style. You know how each one's in the different box. Like,
Oh,
you're in this box, you're in that box. So that's pretty. That's kind of
that was like the only plus that came out of COVID was we were like fuck because we had the studio downtown and that whole I ain't gonna get in that fucking story. People know that story and that bullshit. But it came to a point where it was Sorrento was paying a bunch of money to have that space and we weren't really doing anything with it and a lot of other people weren't helping out and doing their part. So it's like fuck it, get rid of it.
Yep.
It's like okay, then what do we do for the show? Like. There were times where he would come over to my house or we'd find a spot somewhere to do it. But once COVID happened and it was like immediately right after we got rid of the studio. Yeah. We started jumping on, what was Google's form? Hangouts.
Google Meets. Hangouts and Meets.
We tried fuck with that first and then got involved with Zoom and it was like, holy shit. Like, cause when we did interviews and we had some big time wrestlers and shit, like it was always a phone thing. Like, it was on YouTube, but there was never no video. And if there was, it was just like of me and Sretton on the camera talking to these people. Yeah. So now with the advent of like Zoom and how popular that fucking gotten, it's relatively easily accessible. Yeah. To use. Like there's everybody. Next thing you know, I'm fucking smoking a giant hooter with Tommy Chong.
Yeah. Well, that's the plus side too is the fact that because of 20 and COVID and all that stuff, more people probably know what a Zoom is and how to use it and how to access it instead of.
And here's the thing: everything doesn't have to be over edited. Like everybody doesn't need a videographer or an editor. Like I do some stuff with like Microsoft partners. These are big time clients, and it's Zoom meetings, and I'm literally just taking them and I'm chopping up some Zoom meetings. Yeah, and that's
most
pretty
of
much
the big shit you see, unless it's like you watch like Joe Rogan shit, right? And he's got a studio and there's a videographer, somebody filming it, like. But most of the podcasts you see, I don't give a fuck who it is. For the most part, if you're watching on YouTube or wherever, it's all like you said, like Zoom shit. That's just chopped up. You really don't need to do too much unless it's like we've had instances where bad internet. That's why we never go live. Yeah. Because especially with the guys that we've had in the city, like Chicago, like a lot of those people have really piss poor internet.
Which is weird.
It's super weird, man. But if you think about it, wherever they're at, I'm sure like bandwidth and all that shit plays a part, So who knows realistically? But that's like we will never go live for that simple fact. It would be embarrassing. Yeah. Like to be doing something and then all of a sudden someone's internet's so bad. And we've had it with guys like guests on there and they're like talking, they're like, and you're sitting there waiting it out and it's like, fuck, man, this is fucking. It off. Yeah, and it kills the vibe and the flow, Like, so never go live unless I know for a fact we got some gold ass fucking connection,
For sure. I feel like, I feel like high speed internet should be every accessible thing for everybody.
Yeah. It should be, and it shouldn't be like.
You should go to prison if you don't have high speed.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, you need to be able to access stuff, and it doesn't. I mean, dude, you don't need that much bandwidth. To access a good Zoom meeting. No.
Ours are fair, dude. I think our like operation is pretty fairly bohemian, but if you guys watch or listen to the finished product, like we sound better than I've heard a lot of and seen a lot of podcasts or like big budget or big names where it's celebrities, athletes, or just celebrities in general that like it sounds like shit. Yeah. Like I've sat and listened to like Ric Flair's podcast and like, how the fuck is your audio that bad?
Yeah. Is it bad? Is it really that bad?
Yeah. There's a lot of time. I don't even know if he's still doing it, but he was doing it with Conrad Thompson, and who does podcasts with everybody.
Mm-hmm. Probably just using the microphones straight off the laptop.
Yeah, could be. I mean, but even, there's even, and I'm sure there's ways to fucking bring the levels up and at least make it sound good, bit. A lot of the times I wonder, it escapes my mind, like how did they let this get put out? Yeah. When what we're doing is very primitive and cost effective for what we can do, I mean, we're unfortunately not at the moment making any money off of it. So we're just trying to have fun and keep it going, keep the grind going.
It's a passion project. I mean, it's just, it's fun doing stuff, So, in 20, well, dude, look at it. This is episode 10. I picked up this podcast stuff back in 20 and I'm on episode 10. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is, it's the consistency's hard, So we want to do it probably at least once every 2 weeks, but I really want to get one a week knocked out. Cause that's where you're at now. Cause what episode are you on now?
Oh dude. I mean, it's
hundreds.
Weird.
You're at like 100 and something now.
Oh, way more. So the wrestling side and there's probably on the wrestling side, it's really, we're at we just wrapped 248, which will be a 2-parter. So we do an hour, and if it goes, sometimes you start talking, flowing with people. It's like it goes over. We'll split them up.
Yeah.
But right now 248 on the wrestling, and there's some in that timeline, that universe, sort of Juice Pro Wrestling that were bonus episodes.
Yeah.
So it's not like technically, interview with Brian Cage or something. That was its own bonus thing. That's not in the episode, in the 248, thing, but it should be considered.
Yeah.
Right now I'd say like on YouTube, I mean, there's easily over 300 hours of content, but that's because we didn't take a break for like 4 years. It was the first, I think last year was the first time like Sretton went to Europe or something, and it was like, you know what? We've been going hard every week nonstop for 4 fucking years.
Yep.
I'm just gonna put something out saying, hey, go back, check these old episodes out for a while. We'll be back, because
month off, 2 months, whatever it may be.
And you need that. You need that refresher, because there's times where it's like, dude, it's hard every Monday, even though the content and the subject matter is always there. In wrestling, it's easy, dude. It's ever evolving and changing thing, and there's always shit happening. But we try not to be, those guys that everybody else can tell you like the latest news and like bullshit drama and shit. We try to be a little bit different than that, more like Howard Stern-esque, like, I guess, like all the old school DJs around here on the radio from when we were kids back in the day.
Yeah.
Like a mix with a little, I guess, Joe Rogan. And not to say that like I look to those people, but if I had to like use examples from other things of how our show is, it's like that. It's like just a hangout. Like you're at a bar talking shit with your friends, smoking a cigarette, having a beer, whatever, and
I think those are the best podcasts though.
Yeah. And it's like not asking sometimes the same questions will come up, the cookie cutter questions, but they're unintentional. It's mainly the way I do. It's kind of reverse psychology. So they end up telling that shit, but it's just through the flow of the conversation. I'm not directly asking them, well, where did you get your start? Where did you train?
Yeah.
I want to know, like, hey, I know you're a fucking wrestler, but what kind of music are you into? What do you do outside of wrestling? And most of the time, dude, I can gel with anybody, and we can go from there and talk. But, yeah, dude, as far as content goes, it's easily over 300 hours.
Are you guys backlogging episodes at all? Like record them ahead of time?
Yeah, we try to, and that's still hard. I mean,
dude, there was a point in time where back when you guys were knocking out 1 to 2 a week.
Yeah.
Just to kind of have.
We still do. And there's some times where it's because my buddy Bodie, who's down in Florida, I mean, he's been with us for the last several years now. If like say our producers going to Europe or doing something, we got to bank some episodes, right? So I'll schedule a couple guests. We usually record Monday nights, do an hour for each one or whatever, or we come up with an idea for like little mini episodes or something goofy, to try to, backlog some shit. But I mean, and at the end of the day, like I'm the one that does the promoting, the graphics, getting the guests lined up. But on the technical side of shit, like Sretton does all, the audio and visual, all that shit. Once it's up there, I mean, I can take it and trim shit, pull it from YouTube on my phone and do whatever, for promotional purposes. But I mean, I do 99% of it, and he does like what I consider the 1%, which is the biggest, most important half.
Yeah,
is the sound and the quality. And that's a job within itself, because how often is, even though we're cool, does this motherfucker want to sit and listen to my voice or his own voice for how many hours during the week? Sure. Because some of those episodes, like I said, depending on your where people are at internet-wise, they could be choppy. But he's so good. He's taken episodes I thought were complete garbage, and I'm like, fuck, man, we're going to have to re-record or re-ask this guy to come back. He's like, no, I got it. And I'm like, sure you do. And then he drops it, and it's like, holy fuck.
What's he do his editing through?
I think, what is that? Something with an O.
OBS?
Yeah, I think it's something like that. I don't know. I don't know too much of that shit. I'd like to learn it, but I don't have, I don't have the tech really to even do that. Everything I do is basically off my iPhone 13,
Yeah.
Dude, you could record a legit podcast from your phone.
You most certainly
nowadays.
can. Yeah.
100%.
With the microphones that are out now, dude,
Yeah.
the DJI mics are phenomenal.
Yeah.
And like the Rode mics are phenomenal.
You see these influencers walking around at like big events just with their phone.
Yeah,
and
with the little fuzzy thing on it. Yeah.
And it sounds, it gets the point across.
Yeah. Yep, for sure. You can get some good audio. There's also, there's a new phone out now that you don't even need a microphone. And like, say if it's windy outside, you like press a button and it gets rid of the wind. Like
like the canceling.
It's like, what? Like,
technology's crazy. It's so hard to keep up with. But I will say this to like people who want to start doing shit. Like, you really don't need the most expensive shit. Like I said, we're pretty bohemian and primitive. We don't have garbage equipment by no means, but I mean, to have the sound we have and like kind of I think our look could be maybe a little bit better, but that's always, neither here nor
you're always
there.
gonna want better. But here's the thing: is like, you can have the best stuff, but if you don't use it, you just don't use it. But then you can also have the stuff that's like, okay, anybody can just go and grab that. But here you are, 200 plus episodes in, and the points across, and people
and
know.
there ain't no stopping. I mean, there really ain't. Like, I've had talks with Sredden because it's like, after been doing it for so long, and sometimes it feels like his heart's not in. And he's like, no, I'm down. It's just the show's evolving, how we do things. And I'm like, cool. It's reaffirming and good to know that like you're still on board, because I mean, I could never stop. That just means my workload got tougher if he wants to pull out and not do it, because now I have to, or I got to hire this guy for a video, something. Because it's tough. But
it's pretty much Steadicam stuff. So, I mean, it's not even that bad when it comes to doing the video for it. You should do video, Ed.
Yeah.
This is a sweet like setup that you have down here.
I need to figure it out. The only thing is so like, I think if I did video, it would make me more accountable to do more episodes more frequently. But at the same point in time, I feel like a good video podcast, you need to have a little bit more. So like for me, like this is a passion project. So I just do it because I like to chat with my friends. Yeah. I could chat with my wife. I like to chat with anybody who wants to.
And I get what you're saying about that video, because once we got on there and started doing like the Zoom shit and stuff too, because I'm very like can be animated when I talk sometimes, or when people are talking, I'm like doing something, like a movement or whatever that pertains to whatever they're talking about. And I'm looking at myself almost like acting in a sense, to make it more enjoyable. Because I'm sitting there thinking, I was like, man, if I was sitting in here watching and all of a sudden I seen this guy just do some crazy like air guitar or whatever the fuck I do when I do it, I was like, I would laugh. And
dude, the chicken and blessings episode, when you got up and you started shaking your ass.
Yeah. I feel like if you do video, though, you kind of need that but just that's being an entertainer naturally. That's how I feel, as opposed to people, every podcast is someone just sitting there talking, and you can watch that all day long, and that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. But I try, especially coming from like the wrestling background, entertainment background, like, I feel like I need to give that a little more, like if I say something funny about like drinking or doing whatever, I got to do like the hand motions.
The animated, the Stone
like,
Cold, man.
Yeah, do the macho man,
No, for sure, dude. That's where I think the video podcast is cool. But I feel like, so the eventuality is within the next year, I want to have a space where this is all set up and like there's a camera set up and everything. So it's just kind of like, okay, fire it up.
Yep.
There's no.
Yep. That's how you want it. No setup. Like you want to, like even with the video, you want to be able to walk in, press one button,
and go,
and put your headphones on, and you're just rolling.
Yeah.
You're just good.
And I want to have it set up to where we can do something like this, where we can do video, and I also want to have it something set up where it's like, okay, look, the Bears game's on. Let's go live.
Watch-alongs,
let's watch it live. Let's put a video on and then watch it live and then do
just
like...
don't be streaming that game or you're going to get fucking sued, bro. Cease and desist.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Like stream the podcast, the video stuff live and like,
Put timestamps or something up so people can follow, like watch it with you.
Yeah.
But see how much more just in that little...
Oh, yeah.
1 minute conversation about that, how much more shit you have to do, which sounds like nothing, but it's tedious.
Oh, it is. All that stuff is like is additional tedious stuff. But like,
and you got to hire me.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
there you
right.
go. But like even the graphics that I have for each podcast, like I have it's a set template. I just change out the verbiage.
And I just started doing that within the last like year or so.
Dude, Adobe. Remember I got you Adobe Spark, and then now it's Express now. Yeah.
Dude, that shit works great. I still use it. Everything that I've designed for the show has come from.
Dude, I still can't believe that you still use the little logo thing that I created. I'm like, man, he's gonna hate this. And I said, dude, that's still the JP dub, dude. Yeah. Like, and it's again, I am far from a digital designer, creator type of stuff like that, but it's the technology and the systems and the programs that are out now. It gives everybody just enough knowledge where they can be a little dangerous. You know,
Yeah.
You can create. I mean, dude,
And the more time you get on it,
For sure.
dude, the graphics you create are awesome, dude.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
I feel like I've been in school doing it. You know, like that's my on-site training, so to speak. You know.
Yep. And then so like and even some of the video stuff, like I do, like I'm not gonna lie, man. Anytime I used to do the video editing in the past, dude, it's iMovie or CapCut because I have Premiere Pro and I have Final Cut. Dude, I have no idea what I'm doing.
Right.
You know, like it's just
a lot
iMovie's
bigger.
so user fucking friendly, dude.
It's a
That's-
lot bigger.
yeah. Like it's gonna be one of those things, dude, where I'm gonna be like, I'll hit you up randomly. Hey, dude, when you editing videos next? Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna come by for a couple hours, watch you, and if I'll bring my laptop, and if you want me to,
For sure, dude.
if you want me to try to edit one for you, like,
Yeah.
give me some ideas, and I'll try to edit it. You know,
It's just all about finding out, like, it can do what you want to do, but you just need to know how, where it's at, how to use the program.
yeah, no, 100%, and that's the thing too is, each program's a little bit different. So, for example, the Final Cut, it was.
It's all Apple.
Yeah, I purchased that. They had some crazy sale where it was like Final Cut and what's the music one for Apple? It's not GarageBand, but it's like the better one. Anyway, it was like that and then something else.
Motion, probably.
Yeah, and it was like a 3-pack. I want to say I picked it up for like $100. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Because I was like, okay, for $100, okay,
Right,
whatever.
right.
So I ended up picking that up, and then with my Adobe, I pay the yearly subscription, so I have Illustrator, I have Acrobat, I have Adobe Sign, you know,
Yeah.
all the stuff that I would need for work, you know.
Photoshop, Illustrator,
Yeah, and
everything.
you get access to all that stuff, but once you start looking into some of those programs, like, man, I'm spending more time learning than goes back to you don't need the best, the greatest thing.
Right.
iMovie, dude, I can make something perfect on iMovie, and you can export in 4K if you want.
Yeah.
You can do the green screen if you want. Like, you just need to know how to use it. Same thing, CapCut. They got I can do this little transition here or this transition there, and like that's kind of cool. But again, it's enough to get it out there, but it's not like so when you do the video editing stuff and you knock everything out. It's insane how awesome it is. Sorry. What's up, Denise?
Amazon's here to pick up a package. Is this the package they're supposed to pick up?
Oh, no, I canceled that. Yep, thanks. So, but anyway, it was like, it's one of those things where it's just like, it doesn't matter what you have as long as you know how to, as long as you know how to use that specific program. It doesn't have to be the $10,000 system. You don't need the,
Dude, LinkedIn Learning is the way to go. Like, if you want to learn how to use a program, like Premiere Pro, for instance, because it's confusing as shit at first.
Is that LinkedIn Learning free?
No, you have to have it's like $30 a month, but you can cancel anytime.
Professional membership. So it's like one of
Yeah,
those
yeah,
like
yeah.
gold member
Yep,
or whatever.
yep.
Yeah.
And you can, from somebody who has no idea how to use the program,
Yeah.
all the way up to like being a professional, right?
Yeah.
And you could just literally follow along.
Yeah. And YouTube.
You just got to dedicate time.
Yeah,
to it,
YouTube.
though.
You want to know what I think is cool too? Is there's even Facebook groups out there like, hey guys, I'm running into issues with this. Do you guys have a have a fix? Oh yeah, do this, and it's like, man, the cool thing is most people aren't jerks. They're gonna want to help. I think people's natural instincts is to kind of offer some type of help.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
Oh, that's awesome, dude. So you're doing the video editing and everything like that. If somebody wants to hire you as a videographer and have you do some video work, where can they find you? What's a number to reach you at? What's your website?
Just justinvalle.com. VALLE.com.
Yeah, and on there too, you even have some clips of some of your
Yeah. Portfolio's on there.
dude. It's awesome.
I got to update that. I mean, I got a whole bunch of new stuff.
Yeah, but
But, yeah.
you say you got to update it, but the stuff that's on there's still cool.
Yeah, it's cool, but it's just like, it's like you watch the same videos 100 times and you're just like, all right, this isn't that cool anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
You want to see, it's like playing music, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, this song used to be cool. Maybe it's cool for the first time that somebody hears it. Like, oh, that's awesome. You're like, you're already over it, right?
Well, dude, it's no different than like the core songs that you write. People are like, oh, that's a fan favorite, and you're just like, oh, God, I gotta play this.
Yeah,
song again.
I don't want to do it. I don't want to fucking do it.
Like, I hate playing this song. Juice, tell me a little. Where can people find the podcast? Where can people find your guys' next gig in Handsome Prick?
Well, next gig, like I said, October 21st, we'll be playing. But
It's the 20th and 21st, but you're only playing the 21st.
Yeah, we're only playing the 21st with Elbow Deep. You get tickets right now, xpwchicago2.eventbrite.com. As far as the podcast, Juice Pro Wrestling and the JP Dub, we're everywhere every week. And as far as like audio goes, whether you use I don't think Stitcher, they're done now. Whoever used Stitcher, really, anyway. You know,
yeah, they just got bought out, right? Or is
something. They're not doing podcasting anymore or whatever. But, your usual Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts.
Wherever you find your favorite podcast.
That's right. And jpdub.com is a direct link to our YouTube. Just go on YouTube. I mean, we're there every week, every Friday. It's new video. Every Thursdays when the audio drops. So
yeah. So the Juice Pro Wrestling podcast obviously is a pro wrestling, but you got the JP Dub, which is more just music, life, and everything else, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, just like interesting people, and it's strictly like JP Dub is strictly interviews. Where like Juice, we do a lot of interviews, but it's us core three. You know, like sometimes just talk about what's the latest happenings or what's going on.
Totally.
And like we blend everything into the Juice Pro one.
Yeah.
But sometimes wrestling fans are like fickle, so I can't talk about. I had to create another avenue to talk about horror and video games and comedy and all that shit, other shit that I like, because
sure.
Wrestling fans are like, yeah, you have a great show, but once you start talking about the other shit, I kind of tuned out, and it's like, all right, fuck you guys.
You got an hour of wrestling and 5 minutes of like anything else. You're like this thing sucks, they get so pissed,
But that's it, we're every week live, kicking ass, taking names.
Hell yeah, well that's awesome, dude. I appreciate both of you guys jumping on the podcast. This is awesome. I love catching up with my brothers, man. It's good stuff. Always fun stuff, man. So Justin, I've known you since I think my freshman year.
Yeah.
And then I met you at Guitar Center, dude. So I've known you guys both 20 years plus.
That's fucking crazy.
20 plus years, bro.
Time flies when you're slinging dung.
Smells like shit. Dude, it's crazy. Time does fly. So, hey, you can find us on stojozone.com. If you need anything else, you can find us on the YouTube or your favorite platform. Again, thank you guys for coming. If you need a videographer, justinvalle.com. That's justinvalle.com. And then all you got to do is look under Juice Pro Wrestling or the JP Dub podcast on your favorite podcast platform. Ed with the Stojo Zone, thanks for tuning in, and we'll chat with you later. Bye.